Now, I'm not gonna lie. The dialogue that was used to basically confess, right? Not basically, well, confess, Chitali's love for Willem was really good. Seeing like, Willem's like, he asked a question, right? As we all saw, why does she care about me so much? What is it about me? And she's like, are you kidding me? And whenever she wakes up and they're kind of like, oh my god, she's awake. And she's like, how don't you know the answer to that question? I mean, you were a lot of my first. I mean, whether it's going to sightseeing, the first to save me, the first to beat me in a battle, all these different things. And she's like, well, doesn't it make sense that you're my first one I love? And I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't see that coming. And this is a light novel series, as someone like Chibi Reviews had really put a big emphasis on. This doesn't happen. But I'm attached to the characters, man. Like, they're playing with the heartstrings now. They're playing with the emotions now. And we're only halfway through the series. I'm pretty sure this is listed as 12 episodes. Judging by the pacing, I'm assuming it's 12 episodes. And the fact of the matter is what happened next, which is foreshadowing. So be prepared. Because, that little girl with the pink hair, pink purple-esque hair, she asked a question. She's like, is this a miracle of love at work? And the brown-haired girl, the lively one, the lively fairy, she's like, I don't know about that. But whatever it is, she probably had to pay a great sacrifice. So, if I had to spell it out for you, something bad is going to be happening. Something very bad. And yes, the opening gives you that feeling, the first episode, whenever it kind of introduced the show with that kind of like B-roll kind of scene with Willem falling from the sky. And, it looked like Chitali was just standing on the spaceship and she jumped off. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be a happy ending. I'm not sure, but it's foreshadowing, man. I mean, it's in the writing now. I mean, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. It's in the writing. It's saying, hey, something bad's about to happen. And it's sad because we find out, from Su Wong, who is actually a past member of, I guess, Willem's group, right? And they call what's his name, like August, the Black Swordsman August or something like that. So we know he was really badass back in the day. He even got that Black Swordsman name, right? But to find out he's the cause for the fairies and that the fairies are just spirits and they're not even supposed to live that long, it's so sad. And they're people that are technically dead, but they're inserted into bodies, I guess. And excuse me if you guys hear the train in the background. Please deal with that for like 30 seconds. I can't control that. But it's just genuinely sad to see them not even be people, quote unquote. They're just, I guess, bodies. I mean, they're dead. They're kind of like zombies in a sense, and it's sad to see that. And we see that all the things that he's talking about line up and they add up, especially when it comes to Chitali. Actually, her memory's coming back because she's producing too much of venom whenever she's fighting. It's just kind of like, and she's having destagnation and she's just dying, essentially. But she had to give up. Had to sacrifice something in order to come back, essentially. Like it once again, they foreshadowed that after the whole love scene. And I don't know, man. This is a very good episode. It's hard to talk about. I have like half a page of notes I'm looking at right now, and it's going to be a beautiful show. I mean, this show truly showcased that it's going to be a beautiful show when it comes down to it. I can't wait to see how it does end. I mean, will Su Ong do something that behind Willem's back? 100%. I've seen it. I mean, he even lied about who and or why the 17 Beast exist. And and the monster that Willem fought in the past, he's like, why didn't you tell him the truth about the 17 Beast? And he's like, I don't want him to hate me any more than he does. And that got me. I was like, whoa, you're telling me you knew? Because he knows Willem, and like better than probably anyone alive, he knew that Willem would get attached to these fairies. After he heard about it, he's like, oh, he's probably so attached to them. He lost everything he's had. He's probably so attached to them. And he, after saying, hey, I don't see these fairies, as nothing more than a weapon. I'm the one who made them. And they're weapons. They're nothing more to me. And he says that. He straight up says that. And to say, I didn't tell him the truth because I don't want him to hate me any more than he does. What the hell is going on? That's my question. What happen to make these 17 beasts. I mean, if Wilhelm's going to hate you even more than he does for using these fairies as toys, then I don't know, man. I don't. It has to be something diabolical, man. It has to be something crazy. And I'm wondering, is Amissa, is Chitalia the spirit of Amissa? I'm wondering, because, I mean, you see that girl with the red hair. I'm pretty sure Amissa had red hair, too, because we do get the flashback. That wasn't Amissa, but we have another girl with red hair. But I'm pretty sure, like, episode 4 or 3, something like that, shows a girl with red hair that Wilhelm is clearly, like, looking up to over the pier, and, like, he follows her. Like, she seemed as if she was probably the strongest one out of the group. Because even Stacy's episode, I can't believe someone like her went down. And it's just kind of like, woo. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just ready for the plot twist. I'm just ready for so many different plot twists from this show. But to close out this video, actually, which I think this one's a lot better structured than my Grimoire Zero video. That one kind of got everywhere. But thank you for the likes and no dislikes, by the way. But one thing, I really want to talk about is the whole... Okay, so Su Wong and that demon from the past that Wilhelm fought, they were the ones who built the sky. And we see that he really wants to go back to Earth. He's like, we need to reclaim Earth, right? We need to reclaim the surface, per se. Is really, quote unquote, the right way to say it. So they want to reclaim the surface. And, Wilhelm begs the question. He's like, why? Everyone seems happy up here. What's on the surface for us? It's not like we have any family or friends waiting. They're all... Essentially, they're dead, they're all deceased. They were killed by the 17 beasts. And, once again, it begs the question, it's just kind of like, why does he want to go to the surface so bad? And I think he's lost in the past. And I think he's like, I want the surface so bad, I'll give lives for it. I'll sacrifice people for it. But at the same time, there's nothing there. There's nothing for them there anymore. If you can survive in the sky, live in the sky. Willem says, he's like, I mean, besides the 17 beasts, isn't the surface virtually just running wild with beasts in general, just with evil creatures in general? I mean, how are we supposed to reclaim that? I mean, that's their domain now. Why sacrifice lives when people are actually living happily up here? Yeah, we had to flood to the surface, but people have grown in or adapted to the surface life, and they love living up there. So why? Why do we need to sacrifice lives? I mean, would you sacrifice lives for to return to the surface? What do you guys think? I think I'm behind Wilhelm. Why sacrifice lives when there's nothing to return to? I mean, yeah, I get that whole, like, the surface is the surface, living the way like you should be and reclaiming, the land in which you lived on and prospered on. I understand that. But at the same time, there's no reason for them to go back to the surface and sacrifice people. I mean, if you're living happily in the sky, live happily in the sky. I mean, happiness is happiness. I think this is just one dude's pipe dream of reclaiming the surface. And yeah, I mean, it's not like Attack on Titan or some sort. Being foreclosed in this small massive land inside walls, inside of barriers. I could see you wanting to live and see all these different things in the world. I could see that. But I can see that for this too, living in the sky. You want to see the surface again. You want to, adventure throughout the world of the surface again. See all those sights that you can't see living in the sky. But I mean, if people are happy where they're at, I just don't see why it's, I don't see why it's a must. I think it's more of a need and or a desire rather than a must. So as always, guys, you've been Hex. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, X25. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.